Hello everyone and welcome to another day of high yield USMLE questions. So today we will be talking about gastrointestinal. So we have a 40-year-old male patient present to the office for follow-up. He was discharged 2 days back after successful management of community-acquired pneumonia. Widely, the patient is stable. On examination, chest is clear, which means the pneumonia might have resolved, but there is a yellow discoloration of the eyes. So for yellow discoloration, it's jaundice. So we have to look at bilirubin levels, we have to look at LFTs, we have to look at CBC as well, complete blood count, and retic count. So let's see, because remember, why do you want to do complete blood count? Because hemolytic anemia can cause jaundice, right? Hemolytic anemia can cause jaundice. Do you know any pneumonia that would cause hemolytic anemia? And that would be mycoplasma pneumonia. So that's why, if it was hemolytic anemia, HB would be low. Here HB is fine, so it's most likely not hemolytic anemia. Retic count is also fine, which means it's not hemolysis. If it's hemolytic anemia, usually retic count would be increased. It will be like 2% or 3%, because the bone marrow tries to respond to the hemolysis to make more baby red cells, which are reticulocytes. So here it's not a hemolytic. So then AST/ALT normal, which means no liver problem, and then we have a total bilirubin, which is 3, which is elevated. So definitely it is jaundice is because of the hyperbilirubinemia. So but let's see, it's a direct is 0.3, which means indirect is 2.7. So it is indirect hyperbilirubinemia. Indirect hyperbilirubinemia can be due to hemolysis, but hemolysis is ruled out because HB is normal, retic count is normal, and so that is ruled out. So now let's see what other thing can cause in a stable patient can cause indirect hyperbilirubinemia. So remember Gilbert syndrome. So if you have it's a really common inherited disorder in which UTP gluconeotransferase is deficient, slightly deficient. And so if you have let's say unconjugated bilirubin, it is converted into conjugated by UTP gluconeotransferase, and then that conjugated is kind of excreted if this is the cell, and outside it is the bile. Like here is the bile secretory area, like biliary canaliculi. So this channel here, if this is defective, then the conjugated will be elevated. And so, for example, what would cause UTP gluconeotransferase deficiency? One is Gilbert syndrome, which is really mild deficiency, so it doesn't really affect much of the health of the patient. And the other one is a very severe one, and that is Crigler-Najjar syndrome, and that is very severe deficiency of UTP, and usually it will present early in life. And so Gilbert is just mild, you don't need to do anything about it. And then we have the conjugated, so this will result in unconjugated bilirubin, like in this case there is indirect hyperbilirubinemia, unconjugated hyperbilirubinemia. So now if let's say UTP gluconeotransferase is normal and there is a defect here where conjugated cannot be excreted, for example in Rotor syndrome, and another one that can cause this is Dubin-Johnson syndrome. These are also severe conditions and will present early, but it will be conjugated hyperbilirubinemia, and this patient has indirect hyperbilirubinemia. Alright, so what is the next best step if it is Gilbert syndrome? This patient has Gilbert syndrome because remember these jaundice in Gilbert syndrome is triggered by stress. For example, any recent illness. For example, this patient had pneumonia, fasting, for example in Ramadan, or it can be even dehydration or strenuous exercise. For example, going on a hike or running a marathon. So those would be the triggers for Gilbert syndrome. So you don't need to do anything. So this is the right answer here. You just reassure the patient, tell him that it is stress. Once the stress is relieved, the patient will be back to normal and the yellow discoloration may go away. So usually there is no cause of concern here. Ultrasound is the wrong answer. Triphasic is the wrong answer. ERCP, HIDA, these are all really investigations that this patient may not need. Ultrasound, wrong answer, because there is no symptom that would suggest like gallstone or any other pathology with the abdomen. Everything else is normal. It's just bilirubin raised slightly. Triphasic is used for liver cancer. But here there is no weight loss, there is no history of cirrhosis, so very unlikely. ERCP you may do for acute pancreatitis or cholelithiasis. This patient does not have any of those symptoms. That would suggest though, like, there's no abdominal pain. HIDA, again, HIDA is done if ultrasound does not show gallstone. You still suspect there is gallstone, then HIDA is done. This patient does not have any gallstone symptoms, so that is also wrong answer. Hope this video is helpful, and if anyone wants tutoring, you can email me here. And if you like the channel, you can actually donate to the channel here. Also, you can get my high yield step 2C keynotes here. Hope this video was helpful. It's like 15-page document. Hope this video was helpful, and if you liked it, like and subscribe to the channel, and see you in the next video.